Let's get back to naming a couple more. Let's look at the 7 of the 9 possible isomers of C7H16. The easiest one to name is simply 7 carbons long. You'll notice here I got rid of all the hydrogens that can confuse us, because all we really need to see is the carbons. So a 7-carbon chain is simply called heptane. The next one here, the longest hydrocarbon chain, is 6 carbons long. If we look up a 6-carbon chain on the back of our functional group sheet, that is hexane. Then we number to get the smallest number on each branch. So I think it's easy to see on this one. You have to number from left to right. That way we get a 2. If we numbered from right to left, we would get a 5. We don't want a large number, we want the smallest numbers. So on that second carbon, there is a methyl group. So this is 2-methylhexane. The next one is also a 6-carbon chain there. So that is hexane once again. This time we're still going to number left to right, because we can either get a 3 numbering left to right, or if we numbered right to left, we would get a 4 on that carbon. We want the smallest numbers, so we're going to number left to right, get 3, and that is still a methyl group. So this is 3-methylhexane. Up here in the upper right, this is a 5-carbon chain. That's the longest chain you can find. 5-carbon chains, if we look on the back of our functional group sheet, is pentane. Then we can number. In this case, it won't matter if we start left to right or right to left, because both of those chains are on the 3rd carbon, no matter which way we number it. And they happen to both be methyls, and they're both on the 3rd carbon. So we have 2 methyls, so we got to say dimethyl, and we got to say where those methyl groups are. They're both on the 3rd carbon, so it's 3,3-dimethylpentane. This last one here on this slide is also a 5-carbon chain. That's the longest chain we can see. That is pentane. If we number it, once again, doesn't matter if we go right to left or left to right, we get a 3 for where the branch is. This time, the branch has 2 carbons. If we look on our sheet, a 2-carbon chain is called an ethyl. So this is 3-ethylpentane. Let's also see that you can do this a different way and get the same answer. If you notice, this is the longest chain. That's still 5 carbons long, still a pentane. When you number it, you'd still have that branch on the 3rd carbon, and you'd recognize that that branch is an ethyl. So the name for this, if you chose to this as your longest hydrocarbon chain, is still 3-ethylpentane. So the step 1 of the game plan is very important, because if you find the longest hydrocarbon chain, you can't name it incorrectly. Time to pause the video. You try these last 2. Try to name these hydrocarbons, and when you think you got it, press play to check to see if you're right. How'd you do on that one? If you chose to number right to left, you would end up getting 3,4-dimethylpentane instead of 2,3. Well, we want the smallest numbers, so that one is out. Here's this one. If you chose to number from right to left, you would get 2,3,3-trimethylbutane. Well, left to right gives you smaller numbers. 2,2,3 is smaller than 2,3,3. Make sure you find the longest hydrocarbon chain and then number so you get the smallest numbers on your side chains, your branches. All right, let's try a couple more longer ones, more complicated ones. If you find the longest hydrocarbon chain in this first one, it's still just that straight line hydrocarbon. There are 5 carbons there. Looking that up on the back of your functional group sheet, you'll see that as pentane. When we number this one, to get the smallest numbers, we're actually going to number right to left on this example for the first time. All of these are methyls. So we have 3 methyls this time. So our prefix is going to change to tri, but we got to say where they're at. So it's 2,2,4-trimethylpentane. On this next example, finding the longest hydrocarbon chain might be a little trickier. It is right here. Always find the longest hydrocarbon chain, whatever it takes. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hydrocarbons long. If you look at all the other possibilities, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The best one to do is the one we circled here. That is octane. When we number it, we want to number from this side up to this side because that gives us the smallest numbers. So if we look here, we have 2 methyl branches and 1 ethyl branch. Now we have to put these in alphabetical order. And the weird thing is you ignore the prefixes. So we're going to end up here, because we have 2 methyls, we're going to end up with dimethyl. When you put them in alphabetical order, you ignore the di. I don't make these things up, okay? That's just what you do. So ethyl comes before methyl. So in our name, we're going to put 5-ethyl first, and then we're going to do the 2 methyl groups here, which one is on the 3rd carbon, one is on the 4th carbon. So we have 3,4-dimethyl octane. You try one more and we'll be done. Try this one on your own. See what you get. If you think you got it, press play and see how you did. You should have got 4-ethyl, 3-methyl heptane. So practice makes perfect. Follow the game plan and you will win. Make sure you practice all that you can.